I just shared that for you. All right, guys. For those of you who are watching this post live, not pre live, just bear with us 1 second. We are about to kick this off. It is also possible I just lost Crystal. So, oh, you're back.
Yes.
Yeah, I got us playing from my TV over here, which I like to see. And then, like I said, I've got my computer set up behind me so that I can see all the
set up behind me so that I can do.
Shut up! All right, sorry. I'm literally telling you don't forget to mute yourself, and I didn't even mute myself.
Well, I'm frozen.
Oh, you are frozen. Let's unfreeze you. Oh yeah, you are frozen.
Yeah.
Why don't you back out and then come back in?
Okay.
All right, same link. You should be good. All right, guys, just one more minute. Having some technical difficulties. Hey, you're back.
I'm back.
So if I freeze, I don't know what's going to happen. If I close out, it's clearly going to end everything. But as long as you can hear me, I'm just going to roll with it. That's kind of what happened with our last one, because if anyone wants to know what my face looks like, I've got 118 videos, which, speaking of videos, we just put out a short. You and I created this one today, and I actually want to look at how it's doing. So this is one of those weird ones that like don't take off right away. And then I have this feeling that at like a random hour, I'm going to start getting notifications in the middle of the night.
I feel like that's going to be those people that are just up all night.
Yes. Well, you know, and I also posted it at like 4:45, which is like a weird, like, some of the people overseas are still asleep. They haven't woke up yet. And then like people here are like getting off of work, you know, getting ready to head home, or already in traffic. Like it's Christmas time. So I think it's going to be one of those ones that like here at a random hour. Probably I've noticed like between like 9:30 and 10 o'clock. Like I just, or like 9:30 and like 11 o'clock. I just start getting notifications that like I'm getting likes, I'm getting comments, like weird stuff like that. All right, let's see. Where is it? So it is right here. Yeah, so right now we've only got 25 views in the first 48 hours. Yeah, it's going to have a weird spike here shortly. So
it was darn funny.
It was really funny. I will place a link to that in the description for those of you watching. And maybe once this is fully done, I might be able to put something up here in one of these corners. I don't know, but we'll see. All right, so I think it is 6:17. I have shared this. Were you able to share?
Yes, I shared.
Cool. All right, well, let's get the show on the road. And if people come in and want to chit-chat, then we will do the same.
I apologize in advance for my dogs in the background.
Oh, no, you're good. So I apologize about mine in the background, and we are actually going to touch base on that little sucker here in just a second. So, all right. What's up, everybody, and welcome to... Oh, hey, it's Casey. I know her. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Off the Clock TV. Welcome to our third official live. This is our second guest that we have had on here. This has been really fun. It has kind of dawned on me between my second guest, between my second live and this one, that I think instead of finding people with just interesting things to talk about, I want to find locals here in the Tampa Bay, like people that live with me. I don't necessarily have to know you. Of course, it's a good way to start. But I think that doing the local people here in the Tampa Bay would be a good way to kind of get to know my community a little bit more, because my guest gets to share with their friends, you know, and then I get to share my guests with my following as well, which I think is really cool. So building my local following through these weekly to bi-weekly lives. We're going to go with guaranteed 2 a month. That's all I'm going to give you. Potentially more, but no less. But I think that this is going to be a good way to kind of share what I do and introduce people kind of to myself, because when I'm making vlogs, I'm not, you're not getting like raw me. Like, this is raw me. So this gives people a little bit of an opportunity to understand who I am and chit chat and hear about myself and things, real stories, real raw things, emotions. So hopefully we build that local following and, become a local celebrity. That's the goal. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No. I'm just trying to get the bills paid. That's all I want to do. So, all right. So this is a fun one. I've got a good friend of mine on. This is Barber Brew. I can't speak to save my life today. I'm already half a beer in. We'll not be stopping there. But actually just got the fresh fade today in preparation for this. Made a short for you guys with Barber Brew, as well as I am working on a video which I have yet to close, and I will be doing this at the very end of this live as well. So enough about me. If you want to know about me, there are 120 videos. So if you want to say hi, introduce yourself, and we'll get the show on the road.
Hi, everyone. Well, my name is Crystal. I'm here. Brandon, the opportunity asked me if I wanted to do a live, and I said absolutely. Get to share my story, share how we got to know each other, a little bit about my careers, how I got to where I'm at, and where I'd like to go from here, and share a little bit about Brandon's story too.
Well, everyone wants to hear about my story. I should be like a mystery, like a mysterious man, kind of like Bruce Wayne. I actually like lurk over the city of Bradenton in a giant like cockroach costume at night. So
The secret though, right?
yeah. So all right. So today, after I left your job, so we walked over to Target together. You couldn't find what you were looking for. I couldn't find what I was looking for. And my buddy called me. He's like, "Hey, was that you just walking out of Target?" So I was like, "Yeah." So I went to link up with him, and he wanted to see the Love Mobile version 2. So as I was in the parking lot, like I see in the corner of my eye, like someone like double taking at me, and so I look over and I link eyes. It's my ex-wife. Yeah. who I haven't seen in 9 years. Like, okay, you're alive. Learned that today. She looked great. Good for her. But we legit linked eyes, and she turns her head and then looks back one more time at me and then carries on. So I'm like, all right, I guess I'm not going to ask how you are, how you're doing. And there was this weird like sense of curiosity that for me was like, okay, I haven't seen you in 9 years. We spent 6 years together. We did get married. Like, how are you? Like, are you married? Do you have any kids? Like, I know you're wrapping up your degree. Like, how's your new career? Like, I kind of wanted to say hi, but I guess that not knowing might just be the best thing. I don't know, but it was just super weird. I hadn't seen her in years. It's been since February of 14. So I kind of just like it caught me off guard. But then it gets worse. So I come home, I don't take 2 steps into the front door, and I'm like, so doggy,
Oh no.
yeah, I guess had a bad stomach today, and just shit everywhere. Yeah. And so he was like covered in crap when I got in. So like of course, like I didn't want to open his cage because then he's gonna run for the couch or run for God knows what. I couldn't, So I was like, I had to strip down, I had to pick him up, run him. Yeah, I know. I had to put him in put him in Michael's shower. He thought he was in trouble. He's like hiding in the corner. I'm like, I'm like, you're good. Like, I don't want to pet you, but you're good. You're good. Like, just I gotta clean you. And So he's still a little damp. It's been a very interesting day since I left you. Yeah, it's been a weird one, but we're here now. We
Well,
are.
good note.
And it's funny because like I was talking to you earlier, and I was like, I'm cutting back on the drinking, like no beer, but no, I'm drinking for this one. So, all right, so let's kind of jump into this. So, got to see you today, which was awesome. Appreciate the haircut. It was kind of cool when I walked in. Was your coworker? Was she like? Is that the guy from the videos?
Yes.
Okay, so I kind of caught that as I was talking, which was really funny. So those of you who more than likely don't know, Crystal actually plays my videos at the barbershop that she works at, which I personally think is really freaking cool. You are the only person who works somewhere who's actually like sharing my stuff, like out of business for other people to come and see. And like despite our friendship and everything, that is kind of a really cool feeling to know that other people are like coming in for a service and like, oh, what's this on the television? Oh, well, I'm going to be cutting your hair for the next 30 minutes, so let me explain.
Yeah.
So that's actually a really awesome feeling. And when you shared that snap with me, I put it straight on. Shared it to my Snapchat. If you guys are not following me on the Off the Clock TV Snapchat, you really should. But that was really cool. And like, I super appreciate you for that. And I kind of like felt like I was getting looks because everyone's like, oh, that's the guy from the video. That's the guy from the video. So I, for the first time ever, felt like that guy from the video. And it was a really cool feeling. I'm not gonna lie. That was really cool.
Well, everyone says, because I mean, I put them on almost every day, as often as possible, and it just runs its loop. And every time I'm not paying attention because it's behind my head, and my manager will look up, oh my God, it's Crystal, she's famous, and see it on the TV. And so it was actually, I won't lie, it was actually her idea. I was sitting there talking about, I was watching your YouTubes on my phone, and I was trying to get you some more, trying to get you out there a little bit more, talk about, just like me. And he goes, I play my friends up on the TV sometimes. Why don't you do the same? And I was like, good idea. So I just started doing that, and people actually quite enjoy watching it.
It was funny because so I I have more technology like literally in my pocket every day than Neil Armstrong had on the freaking moon. So the data that I get from my phone is like it's YouTube makes it so easy for like creators to just see raw live data. And I try to check it at least hourly, but it's like if I really don't have anything going on, I'll check it 2 or 3 times an hour. And I can see I'm like, uh-oh, someone just started my playlist. And I think it was it yesterday that I text you? I was like, you watching my videos right now? You're like, yeah. So because I can tell when someone starts the playlist, which not a lot of people do. There's only like 3 other people who will just go play the playlist for me. Some other people will just watch videos in random sequences. And then I could never tell who it is, but I can tell. Oh, it's beautiful.
I like
I
it.
can tell. I can tell when the playlist gets played, and that's pretty awesome. So it cracked me up because I text you. I was like, oh, it's definitely you. Screenshot. So, all right. All right. Okay. Here's a good one for you. When I left, was everyone anyone say anything like, oh, your video guy, anything like that? Anyone like wanting autographs? Because next time I come back, I could definitely sign some. Maybe print out some shirts.
They asked, so because of course you shared it on Facebook, Instagram, all that, and I had shared it through my barber Instagram. So a lot of them follow me there, and a lot of them
Cool.
have and follow you just because your content, is funny, and I work with veterans, they support other veterans. So they all kind of looked at me, were asking, they're like, so what are you guys doing tonight? I said, well, we're just kind of chit chatting about being a barber and whatnot. I said nothing business itself or anything. So they're like, well, we might try to check it out, or if we can't get on tonight, because some of them might be still working,
Yeah.
get on it later and check it out. Very interested in you as a person,
Cool.
as far as their business also. They need someone to promote them. They also love promoting other people. As I said, very big in the veteran community for them. So like they did ask you about taking photography pictures and stuff like that. So
Yes.
they were looking at that, and I maybe something about commercials. Who knows later on? But they definitely would like to talk to you a little further about that.
Yeah. And I mean, even if it's like, through a chat on here, like I said, if you're especially veterans, so I'm 2 for 2 on veterans right now. But, if you're here in the Tampa Bay area, I would love to get to know you. I'd love to get to know your following and talk about what you do. I mean, I'm not I don't have a million subscribers, but it's still fun to sit down and get to know people and talk to people and share. And the more I do this, I'm loving the lives more. I've actually get I don't want to say I've been deviating from the vlogs, which I'll never do. I love my vlogs, but just the success that I've been getting from this specifically, I'm kind of hooked to it right now. So now it's like, okay, I want to do one a week. So it's like, who wants to talk? Because I want to talk to someone. So yeah, let anyone know, and they don't specifically have to be a veteran. I'm not trying to keep a tab on that, but no, I would love to talk to people, and like I said, locally, I think is the big thing that I really really want to start doing first. I guess it'd be easier if I kept my notes in front of me instead of to the side. But cool. Yeah, it was a really awesome feeling because I was like, oh hey, I legit felt like that guy from the video, and that's pretty cool. So that's only happened to me one time. So I put out a video in high school that I'm not gonna say like blew up, but the video kind of blew up between my high school. So I was dual enrolled with 2 different high schools. And I'm not gonna tell y'all where I went to school. I'll tell you, but I ain't gonna tell them. So the video kind of blew up amongst the 2 schools. And so I ended up going to a high school football game, and like someone walks past me and then like turn like they do a U-turn and they're like, "Hey, I saw you. Are you the guy that made this video?" I'm like, "Yeah, that was me." It was a cool feeling, and like I was probably 15, 16. Like I've never forgot that.
Well, I'm sure that.
I've never forgot that feeling because it's really cool when you do something and get noticed for it. Like it don't matter what it is, like at all. So, so I want to get into and like I said, we don't have to discuss where, but I want to kind of get into high school because I feel that we've got some common grounds in high school with the junior ROTC program. And I kind of want, and if there's any veterans listening, that a lot of you, honestly, I'm not you, a lot of you I can't fucking talk today. A lot of you non JROTC personnel will bash on the junior ROTC program so freaking hard. But I'm telling you, I had some like old school, like ranger instructors that legit taught me stuff that I didn't even learn in basic training. Things that I still use to this day that I learned in the junior ROTC program. So bash on it, but it was actually the time of my life. Like it made high school. So since we have that comment, like I kind of thought it would be fun to touch up on that, and I kind of would like to hear your ROTC experience because mine was a hurdle and a half.
Mine was actually really good. It actually made high school for me. I was also dual enrollment. Um, Mine was with the school and a college.
Okay.
So, I was in school for only some periods, and I was not in school for the others, or I was doing OJT. So I really enjoyed being there. Came from military background, so I actually really did enjoy being there, learning. It taught me how to be a respectable young adult, more responsibility, um, just another side of the family, that I didn't have like that. the camaraderie that, you don't get like you there.
That's funny that you say that because I have made friends post high school, but it's weird because I made friends in the junior ROTC program. Like Matt and Michael, we didn't necessarily meet in ROTC, but I think that was our biggest common thing. I feel that helped mold the friendship that we still have 12 years later. Um, my best friend Herb, he was the reason I got into the ROTC program, and not necessarily just him. My brother was in it, and I used to see my older brother in uniform. I was like, man, I really want to do that because I had two uncles in Vietnam, and one of them I never got to meet, but my uncle Isaac, every time he would come into town, he'd be sharing his military stories, and I'm like, man, I really like this. Like, and I see my brother in uniform. I see my friend Herb. So the school that I went to didn't have the ROTC program, and I hated it. But my brother had a fairly decent reputation there with the instructors, and so did my friend Herb. And the instructors are like, hey, well, listen, we, kind of can't, make you officially one of us unless you are enrolled at the school. But if you want to hang out, with the guys and you want to exercise and you want to do PT and, you want to come to the campouts, like, you're more than welcome to. So that's kind of how it started for me. And then I found out that I could dual enroll high schools just for the ROTC program. And it just so happened to work out perfectly because the school that I went to didn't start till inconveniently till like 9:40 was first period.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, trust me, I know it sucked. And this will be a next time I get my haircut discussion. I'll give you those deets. So I don't want to dig too. I love the school. Don't get me wrong. I'm not bashing the school. It was just inconvenient for me. But I had first period ROTC, and we had Raiders. So I'm there at 6:30 in the morning. We got PT, which honestly I did better PT in the ROTC program than I did in the Army. Hands down, I've never done better PT. I mean, I have, but as a legitimate, like, in my Army PTs, I have never done better PT than I did in the junior ROTC program, like 110%. And it was awesome because I would get out of first period and I would have like enough transitional time to wash up, eat, and head to school. And I would get there just in time to start first period at my actual high school. So, and because I did that, I got to drop my fourth period. So I ended up getting out of school a little bit earlier, which is really cool. So when my dumbass got suspension, I just opted for in school suspension because I was like, hey, I got nothing going on for fourth period. So, y'all want me to scrape gum, mop the floors, clean the toilets, what you want. I'm here for you.
Well,
But it was,
gotten an in-school suspension. I was one of those nerdy kids.
oh, no, I was an asshole.
No, that JROTC was really good for me. It brought me outside of. I was not very out there. I only had a few friends that I had since kindergarten, and I fell in love with the JROTC program. Tried it, loved it. Kind of got me a little bit more confident in finding friends that would 100% have my back, even that they were in higher grades than me, anything like that. They were always there, like someone picking on you, this, that, and the other. They always showed up out of nowhere too. I'm like, how did you know where my class was?
I 100% agree to that. So I, as a freshman, wasn't in the program, but I was hanging out with the program. But some of the seniors from the program, I still talk to this day, and they're off in the military. Some of them are majors now, or I've got one of them who's in Delta Force. And then when I actually got in the program, I think it was in 10th grade. Um, and our seniors from that year, I still talk to. Some of them just became majors. Like they're still great friends of mine, and it was kind of that first time where you really really get to know other people older ages. Like it really broadened who you were as a person and individual. And that was honestly the biggest part of the program. Like, yeah, we're having fun and we're learning things, but like you said, like I mean, hell, I'm still a shy person. I told you earlier today that I would whip my camera out in front of 100 random people, and
Just
now I'm taking on the world with it, you know.
100%.
But it definitely boosts my confidence. And do you think that led to your decision to join the military, or was that already kind of in the back of your head?
It was kind of in the back of my head. I had this crazy idea at first that I wanted to be a police officer. That was a no go after I saw blood for the first time, like that. And then I was like, oh, you know what? Let me try the JRTC. My family was military. It was kind of in the back of my head, but zoology took the front for me. But once I went through the program and did my first year in college, I really missed that. And I was like, nope, no college for me for now. I'm going to join the military and then take it on from there.
I did a year and a half post high school, and I was like, hell yeah, I'm out of high school. The hell with y'all. All of you can suck it. Like, I'm a big kid now. And I'm at college with all the same people I went to high school with. I'm like, damn it.
Absolutely. That's kind of what did it. I was like looking around the class and I'm like, that kid shouldn't even be in here. I did his homework. Never in class. How are you here? I was like, I looked around. I was like, I'm not doing this. I can't.
College was a weird transition because when I like started taking my college classes, like it was super weird because it's like, okay, this person's a few years older than me. This person is disgruntled because they just got out of the military and they're using their GI Bill. This person's 65. I don't even know why they're here. Like it was just like it was such a crazy like mixture of people, and I was like, this is odd. And I get into basic training, and you know this. It is the weirdest mixture of people. So you think first year college is a weird mixture of people? Go to basic training. Like I had people from the Israeli Defense Force were in there. I had people from Saipan, Guam, Jamaica, Africa. I mean, places I didn't even know existed, and you just meet the strangest people, but some of them end up being the coolest people I know, and I still chit chat with them. But
One of the coolest kids I met there, tall guy who came from Taiwan, and he couldn't speak a lick of English. So he would walk around with his little translator book and they would yell at him and he'd translate it back and try to translate to them. It was the most interesting thing I had ever seen.
so my friend Ray, he was close to me. I think he was two bunks over. Ray was from Saipan, and he was telling me that like the minimum wage there is like so small. I think it was like three something an hour, and he was trying to tell me that it costs like 4,500 because you got to like take a boat from this island to that island, and then a small plane to this island, and then a bigger plane to that island, and then a plane to Hawaii, and then a plane to yeah. He's like, it costs thousands of dollars to leave the island, so everyone just joins the army and they get a free ticket off the island.
Yep.
And he was telling me that they only do 25, 30 miles an hour on the island. So when we had our family day weekend, he's in the car with me, and I'm doing like 65, 70, and he's like sitting here, he's like, I've never gone this fast before. I'm like, I'm just keeping up with traffic. And it's like you don't understand, like this is the first time like in our lives that we're understanding different people and different like cultures and walks of life. Like it's crazy to think because I was 21 in basic training. I'm 21 years old, and I have an adult in the car with me who's never gone more than 30 miles an hour before.
I think I was 19.
Like that, it was just.
I mean, I lied to
You
you.
hear him?
Yeah.
I felt so bad. Poor guy. He's
So never been away from home. I mean, I had been, but like I never really had left my family for that period of time to like leave because I come from a very Hispanic family. They like to latch onto their kids.
Yeah.
So, my mom made it very comfortable to be at home. And, it wasn't, it, it did that interaction of being on my own, the adulthoodness. It was crazy awesome. Like you get up, you do everything yourself. No one's there to help you or hold your hand through it. More like push you in the dirt, if anything. So it was a nice wake up call.
So what's crazy is that like when I first left, I'm like, oh, this sucks. But now, like, I could get a phone call and they're like, hey, so we need you to show up tomorrow. Like, we're gonna be gone for a couple months. I'll be like, okay, like let's do it. Where are we going? Like, do I need my cold weather gear? Like,
What's
what
your
what's the packing list?
24 hours? Okay, got you.
um so that's really cool that we both did that program. And the more we talk, I feel the more we get to know each other, which is crazy because I feel like we've really got to know each other a lot, which is kind of the next thing I want to get into, is kind of how we met. And again, I won't say where we were, but we were sitting at a bar in a restaurant. Okay, it wasn't strictly a bar. Okay, but if it was, y'all can mind your business. Okay, but no, was it my mom that said, "Hey, you should meet"? It was my mom.
She did. She said that she actually had told me about you before you ever got here. She had
Okay.
you should meet my son. He's just getting out of the military himself. She knew I was getting ready to get out myself. Um, she was like, I think you guys would really get along, and you guys might be able to use that like help on or lean on each other for the separation from leaving the military, and help each other out when you're like feeling the urges or this or whatever it is that you need to talk to someone about. So that's kind of how she put in my head that you were coming here, so I got pretty interested in meeting you.
And that's kind of crazy because like that's exactly what our friendship has been. Like 100%. Like one from day one, it's like, yo, I got a shoulder for you. And for me, when we first met, I was in a rough spot because I had just moved back down. I left my wife at the time, was going through a divorce, and it was really difficult. I was in this weird spot where of course I was choosing to bottle a little bit, and like if you look at me the wrong way, I'm like, I guess I'm just gonna cry. I was like, I'm just gonna sob. You know, I'm doing it in public.
It's not me leaking, it's you.
Yeah, yeah, you're making me do this. And so I think we met each other at a really, really good time because you were going through your transition out. And I think it personally, I don't think I've said this to you yet, but I think it scared the shit out of you.
It did. I didn't. So, military's been everything for me to look forward to. My career, I made a lot out of my career. I did a lot with my career. It took me places that I never thought I would go, and pushed me in areas that I would ever do. So, leading something like that, I felt like I was leaving behind my family and cultures that I was entrusted with to be on their own, and I didn't know who was going to come in and help them and if they were going to do it the right way. So it was very terrifying to get out and not ever have that again. I'm never gonna lace up those boots again. I'm never gonna put that jacket back on again. It's a now that I'm saying it, it's even more emotional.
Yeah, and it's one thing that a lot of people don't understand. It's like when you're overseas and you leave base, it's like, hey, when I come back today, so let's get it. Like we're doing it together. Like lace up your boots. Like we're this is us. You really do build that camaraderie, and it was hard for me when I got out. It was really hard, and throughout my career, I'm telling you. everything in life outside of the military kicked me in the crotch so freaking hard. And I felt like the only thing that I did have were those people. And it's weird because I could go to a new military unit, which I just did. I just went to a new unit for the first time for 2 freaking days, and I'm like, I'm already connected to these guys. We're already talking like we've been serving together forever. It's like that, like, mutual respect and camaraderie that you get. It's like it's something that you don't get outside of places. So when you lose it, it's really freaking scary. And so I know that you were going through that transition and leaving that, and I'm like, I separated from the military because I was like, okay, let's start, the family and be with her. And I moved to New England, and now that's gone. So it's like the military is gone, that family is gone, my relationship is gone, my stepson's gone, my marriage is crumbling. And meeting you at the time that I did, I personally think was one of the best things that could happen. So I appreciate you more than you know. And it really helped me stay on track, and you have kept me motivated, you've kept me positive. So I really honestly really appreciate you tremendously. And you were the first person to say, well, that's a dumb idea, don't do that, or I think that's a great idea, do that. So I needed that. And
Well, the
it,
fear
it
cool because I don't know if you remember the one liner I said to you. I said, I think I'm in the look, or what did I say exactly? Look, words can't come to me now. Um, I'm in the business for a new best friend.
yes, I think you said you were in the market for a new
Yeah,
best friend.
that's
I was like,
what
I was like, we should just go do karate in the garage now. And sure shit, we practically did karate in the garage. Was was that the night? Was that the night we went over to your house?
Yes, and you sat in the chair.
I woke up the next day with like 600 Sharpie tattoos.
Yes. Oh my
That was
god,
a fun night.
I forgot. Yeah, that and the hot dog that was left
I
behind.
woke up, I felt like I got hit by a bat, and I called my mom. I'm like, hey, can you pick me up?
Oh,
And she looked at me, she gives me this look, and I'm like, just mind your business, Mom. Just mind your
well, here's
business.
the best part about it is because obviously I knew your mom first, so we were friends on Snapchat. So she was seeing all the dumb crap that we were posting. So exactly what went down before you even had to.
Okay. Okay, that makes more sense.
Yes.
So, I've known you since your separation from the military, but I kind of want to talk about, like, let's not the military as a whole. When I met you, you were taking the military separation. So you were sending that one way, but then you were moving another way with going to barber school. That lasts like 2 years. Like, what did you have going on leading up to your transition out and starting your new career?
Um. Well, to be honest, it was a light switch for me. One day the light was on, I'm staying. I'm a forever lifer. There's no way you're gonna get me out. The other day, couldn't do it anymore. Tired of politics. Tired of this. Tired of the same thing everyone else does.
That's me every other day. I'm like, hell yeah, we're blowing stuff up today. You
Yeah.
ain't gonna get me to retire. And the next day, you're like, we need 5 for KP. I'm like, I'm getting out.
Yeah.
So
What really uh did it for me was, when I first got in, I was a single young woman that was ambitious, very hungry to move on and do things and go places and see the world and pew pew things basically. Like that's just what it was, you know. And when I got married and found, what I would say the love of my life, I kind of started missing things. I missed a lot. I mean, my niece born. I miss, you know, I mean, almost all of them. And my nephew, I couldn't be there. A lot of things like my little sister and me were very, very close when I joined. I missed every single one of her birthdays until she was like almost 26 years old. So it just kind of came to a decision for me mentally that I was really ready to be a civilian. I was really ready to take that transition, whether I was how I was going to deal with it or how I was going to take it, just because I knew I had the support on the other side to get through it. That I really wanted to be at home and see everything through this side, not the uniform side.
So the military, I would like to say, for what it's worth, kind of really sets you up to be a leader um, in civilian life. And I don't want to say it doesn't, because it does, but not necessarily on the enlisted side. And I say that because, you know, in the military, it's like take charge in the absence of leadership, which we've had to do. I mean, I've stand at the front of my formation before. My first one's like, "What the hell are you doing up here?" And I'm like, having to do a double take. I'm like, "Hey, no one's here. I'm stepping up, man."
Yeah.
But it's kind of odd in the civilian workplace because it's like, hey, I show up, I'm ready, I'm hungry, like, I step up, but I've kind of noticed, and maybe you have or maybe you haven't, but it's like, hey, so like chill, like there's no place for that here, or who the hell is this guy, or you're overstepping your boundaries, and it's like when you kind of deal with non-veterans, like they don't understand that like up tempo that you have,
Yeah.
and it's weird because that's kind of like how they sell us on how our success is going to be. Like, you guys are ready, and you hear about these people that want to hire a veteran because you guys are gung-ho and ready to go balls to the wall. But I don't know, my experience with that is just it kind of bites me in the ass. Like, I'm always volunteering for things, I'm always wanting to step up. When nothing's going on, I try and take charge, but it's like in the civilian world, it's like we don't do that here, and
Yeah.
it
I-
it sucks. So I personally now prefer to, like, that's why I continue to park cars. Like, I just show up and park cars and then I leave.
I'll say
But
another one for me. Maybe you can get this. Maybe I don't know, more of the NCO side for me. Um, you know, getting used to like your superior. You don't go out and party with what's you because it can cause a spiral.
fraternization.
Yeah. So what was interesting for me, and I tread lightly saying I don't mean it in a bad way. I'm not saying like Christmas party you can't go and hang out with your boss.
Yeah.
I mean personal level. You're coming to work and my God, we got so trashed last night, and it's like, what the frick? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's it makes, and it's crazy because like I was in the reserves my whole career, but still, like, you try and bring those principles because it's like this is that, to me, in my opinion, that like defining quality that makes me stand out more than the other guys. So you try and bring those principles that they teach you, but I don't think people understand that it doesn't always get you kind of as far as you want, which has kind of been, like I was saying, one of the reasons why I stay in parking cars, because I just mind my own business. Like, my boss and I was like, hey, how would you feel about taking on a bigger role when I bring on another client or two? I'm like, hey, I'll help you because I've got a lot of knowledge, because I did go to school for business. I have worked professionally. I do. Oh my God. I do have a lot of leadership experience. I have a lot of experience in this because I used to be a regional manager in it, but I'm not taking that role.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it. In the army, it's like, yeah, let me get it. I want that stripe. I want that rocker, you know, but in the civilian world, I'm starting to realize it's like sometimes things are a little bit better on the lower end than on the higher end. You really like bite off a little bit more than you can chew there, and it's kind of difficult, which is why I'm so focused and passionate in my videography, because it's me. Like it's just me, and I'm starting to notice this, and I don't know how big this is from other conflicts outside of the GWAT, but look at the number and statistics of veterans who are starting their own businesses
You're not
and
wrong.
being their own bosses and creating their own empires and then hiring veterans, because it's like, hey, this sucks and we know that you know it, so come on with us. Let's hop on that train together. And that's why I stick with my videography, because I it's weird that I don't want to say the military's changed me, because it's done great things for me in my life, but working for anyone other than myself, like I love my boss, I love the owner of my company, and I know that they listen. So if you're in here chiming in, I love you guys. Honestly, I really do. But I can't do that forever. And my aspirations in life, I have seen through trial and error over the last 12 years that I have to be my own boss. And it's weird. And I feel that if I didn't join the military, if I did go to college, I did get that big degree, and I did get that fancy job, I feel like it would be completely different.
I don't know. You strike me, and from what I hear from you, even as a kid, you strike me as someone who is born to be a leader, but a leader from within. You lead yourself, and then others to see like an influence. Um, so I think even if you did that big fancy job, looking over a skyline, view, I think would have got bored and then ended up picking up a different route, and you would have started off later in life doing something, and then maybe so it could have been vice versa.
Well, I want to interrupt this moment real quick to discuss this shot that your wife keeps talking about. So, where is this thing? Hey, all right, what is it? Oh my God, is that a mini mason jar?
Heck yeah, it is. I'm gonna shout out this to my sister. She knows and loves us so well, as you can tell back here. We are very much into the wooden decor, and so we have mason jar everything thanks to her and her husband.
It's a mason jar shotgun. Okay, listen, you just blew my mind with that.
And I'm gonna put Off the Clock TV on the back so that you can have it for every live show.
Yes! Oh, you just made that's the cutest thing I've ever seen.
Well,
Oh,
yes, I will mind you guys. I really don't drink liquor. It's been, 5 years of making. Probably count on a hand of how many shots I've had in that time frame. So
all right. Well,
this, this is
I
for you.
don't I don't have a shot, but I'll do
Cheers.
it. Oh,
Now
that is
can't go wrong with that.
that's funny. The mini mason jar. Your wife is cracking me up. So you know what's funny
Now
is that
see a little bit more of the actual.
okay. That is too cute. It's funny that your wife's in here, which I know you're listening to, by the way, Casey. I love you. It's funny that your wife's chiming into this and commenting, because on my last live, my buddy Steven, who I was with, his wife was watching live as well. And Steven's internet, he was just having issues. And she's posting and posting and posting and posting. And I'm like, how does she have better Wi-Fi than you do right now? But apparently she was somewhere else. And she's like in there commenting, she's like, yeah, fix your shit, man. Like it was so comical. Honestly, it really was funny.
Well, doesn't know me. Brandon does know this. I have a very, very supportive spouse.
Yes.
And very, very supportive of Brandon. When she found out that me and him were connecting, she straight up looked at me and said, "Don't let that one go." So I
Hey,
mean,
word.
so
I need her. I need her to say that about my current girlfriend. Let me. Oh, y'all gonna meet her
outside of here, I'm pretty sure.
outside of here. Outside of here. I need you to be like, Brandon, this is the one for you, because I'm betting 1,000, but not for good things. No, I'm.
Let her go.
Oh my god, you're cracking up. I'm responding to you on here. So I'm moving.
What? You are.
Yeah, I'm moving back to Bradenton. I'm actually really excited for this new place that I'm going to be taking in because it's going to be giving me another room. And like I for those of you watching who don't know this, I rent my room from one of my best friends. But I'm moving on to my own space, and I'm getting a 2-bedroom because I want to create a potential podcasting area. Oh my god! Woo! And a legit workstation, and I want to be able to like provide so much more for everyone that's watching. And like I think my backdrop's pretty cool, but this is, well, technically this is version 2.
I was gonna have almost close to. I'll just give one quick little look because it's my military backdrop. I was gonna do it.
I love that.
But I like I said, I have a supportive spouse who really loved my military career.
Yeah. I just want to know that like when I sit down, like I want it more to be more than just an awesome guest, extremely attractive young 30-year-old host, but who's currently taking, all right, ladies, hey, I see y'all blowing me up in the comments over there, chill. But I want the cool background and all that. These are things I'm going to be working on, and when I can provide bigger space, this is more things that I can start adding because production value is becoming a super big thing for next year. I've been doing this for almost a year now.
Has it been that long?
First video. Oh no, we're not bringing up the hot dog. We discussed that earlier. Okay, I'll bring up the hot dog. I throated a hot dog. It's a long story. I was playing a game and I wasn't going to lose. But I throated that sucker. January 24th was my first video.
Okay, so yeah, because we met right before before I was getting out, because I was gonna say because I was pretty excited and I bothering you. When's the next one? Is it gonna air?
Well, and that's another thing. Like, moms always say, I'm always going to be your biggest fan. First off, mom, okay, I don't see you in the comment section right now. Where are you? Because you knew I was live. I shared it with you, number one. Okay, number two, I don't see you sharing my videos. You ain't posting my videos up at work. Okay. No, she promoted me super hardcore for the Tampa video. I will give her that. She probably got me about 40 subscribers. But no, you have legitimately, and I mean legitimately, been day one.
Oh yes,
day freaking one, a biggest fan. Like you were there when I was purchasing equipment. Before I even released the name, you were there before the LLC, before the trademark, before the channel was actually created.
The
website. And we did take your truck off road. That was actually a really fun day. We need to hang out again, outside of party setting. That way.
Now we have the Jeep and the truck, so.
Oh, we should. Oh my god, we should go somewhere like Alafaya. We should go to Alafaya.
Okay.
That would be fun. You're not gonna get my ass on a bicycle, but everything else would be cool. I think that would be really fun. That would be cool. So, all right, you and I can chit chat forever. So let's get ready to probably come into our last discussion here. But no, I do appreciate you because you really honestly have been my biggest fan. And it's crazy because like I just met you. I really just met, and I know we've probably known each other for a year and a half, maybe Maybe we might be going on 2.
Well, actually, yeah, I guess it's going.
I think I met you around like.
It was right when you moved. Like I met you
Hold
right.
on. Okay, hold on. Was my vehicle assaulted
Yes.
before or after we met?
Way after. Way after.
Casey just cracked me up with that. I still have the doors. I don't even have the car anymore. I'm taking the doors with me to court. I'm gonna put them. There's no window. I'm gonna put them over my shoulders and march them straight into the courtroom. I swear. I swear to you, they're in the garage. Like
what you need to do for the new year. Walk out with those.
they will forever be a part of the creation station, and I will share that story. Which actually reminds me, I need to call. I need to call you after this because I have some information I got to fill you in on. Ooh. regarding that person. But I am not one to do the bashing on the platform, so I will be doing my bashing outside the platform. I'm sorry. Yeah, you all got to hear this one. It's good. It's really good. But I have the doors.
That's the way possible, so that there's no retaliation.
You said tell you in the best way possible?
No, I'm saying if you do come out with the story eventually, on YouTube.
Yes. So, I mean, it wouldn't be defamation of character because I've got legitimate facts.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be bashing because it's all factual things that actually happened.
Honestly, I would say a good story, but a bad story in a way. Like
I was thinking on going to the spot, recreating it. Of course, things really transpired after that with said person. I don't know if I want to get into that. Although, oh, shit. There was a conviction on that 2 days ago. I'll call you when this is done, I promise.
Other side? That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I'll call you on that. So there was a conviction. I won't get into it here, but you two are gonna get a real good laugh.
Oh, I'm sure we are
over that one. And let's just say Michael. Y'all know what Michael does. He filled me in on some good juicy stuff last night. So yeah. So sorry to leave you guys on this cliffhanger, but yeah, there's some good stuff. You have to hear that afterwards. So I want to get into this. Will probably be our last topic before we switch to like Q&A and conclusion. Also, everyone who's still on here watching, we're at 7 people right now. I greatly appreciate you all for chiming in and taking the time in your night. Take 2 seconds to hit the little like button real quick and leave a little comment. Just let me know who's on here so I can say hi. We have had a lot of people in and out on this entire chat. I think we're at probably close to 30 people who've chimed in and out so far, which is really awesome. And post live, these have been doing really good too, which is really cool. So
I have one question to interrupt.
Of course.
Someone who's trying to chime in, but they can't leave comments.
Interesting. I don't know why, because your wife is just going to town in here.
Oh, I think it's because they don't have a YouTube account. I think that's why.
That's why.
Yeah.
That's why. If they want to ask the comment, actually, they can ask the comment through you. I would say do it now so I can put together a response, because we're going to do Q&A probably after this next little discussion. So feel free to have them do that now, and I'd be more than glad to answer.
I know one is Brittany.
Brittany. Who's Brittany?
Brittany, she's Casey's best friend from work. She wanted to chime in and support both of us too.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, of course. I didn't know if it was a Brittany that I knew. I'm like,
not that.
I'm like, do I know this Brittany? Okay, yeah. Of course, Brittany, if you're still in here, ask your question to either of them, and then when we hit Q&A in a minute, I'll have them put it up here so that we can do that. And you have to, what are you doing? Create a YouTube account, Brittany. It's just Google you, and then you go on there, and then once you're set up, you immediately go to the Off the Clock TV YouTube channel. You hit the subscribe button and then the notification bell. Okay, if you have not done that yet, Brittany, you're wrong. All right, I'm just kidding. But honestly, though, you're wrong. So I want to talk about barber school and your current career, and I think this will probably be our final discussion before Q&A.
Okay.
So,
go ahead.
Why barbering?
So, funny story. Grew up, my uncle was my best friend. Making this long story short, he did hair. I fell in love. He used to sit on the counter. I would watch him like it was the most magical thing in the world. And it just was like watching art being created, the way he did everything, things he could do. I wanted to do that. So I'd always loved cutting hair, always did. Did it after I graduated. I have many friends. I think shout out to Charles, who let me butcher their hair so many times.
Oh my god! Did you just see your wife's comment?
I am just gonna keep going. But yeah. Oh,
Okay, hold on,
but
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. I am going
I'm
to.
a barber, not a cosmetologist. Let me get that correct.
With that comment, I wasn't going to do this. I'm sprinting, and I mean sprinting to the fridge for another beer because that just cracked me the hell up. So give me 2 seconds. Give me 2 seconds. Hold on. Look at my hats. Ah, shut up, you. All right, I'm back. I grabbed 2. Okay, so. Oh my God, Casey, that was funny. So I've noticed with these lives that only the people in the actual live get to see the comments. So once I publish it and just turn it into a video, those comments are gone. So for those of you watching post, you'll never know what Casey said. I just had beer come up and hit me right in the eye, and I have glasses on. I don't know how that was possible. All right, so
That's what it was.
So I asked you why barbering. Let's just, if you don't mind, let's just touch back on that because your wife literally caught me off guard in the middle of your whole explanation, and I'm like, nope, I'm having a fucking squirrel moment right now.
No, so what I was saying, when I graduated high school, I come from, on my mom's side, the first generation to go to college. So it was very big on me to go and at least give it a try. I wanted to do barbering. That was not really an option. So I, like I said, did zoology. Didn't like the path, joined the military, ended up, I mean, I love animals, did that for about 12 years. Met my, he knew I loved cutting hair. Finally got to the point where I just couldn't, I just, I just couldn't do that job anymore. It had nothing to do with the people that I had phenomenal bosses, phenomenal. It's just, you know, looking at checks and I was looking at, we were trying to buy a house at the time and they didn't even want to use my income because I didn't make a lot of money. Made me very sad. And I put all this time into this career that was going to take me really nowhere. She finally said, go be a barber, quit, be happy. I know that you can take this off and be very successful. I had an amazing teacher. I give him the world. If it wasn't for him, I would not be where I'm at now. I know people say, great barber, you would have gotten here, but it's taken me a lot longer to get where I'm at if I didn't have that. So I will say, Dooney, it's his barber name. Thank you. Thank you to the support of everybody else. You, big supporter. You bring people to me
I try.
My wife, who literally only gets her hair cut by me, and literally goes around and tells people, "Look at this fresh cut. Who did it?" My literally walking commercial. Um, my family too. Now that they see how happy I am, and like you said, working for yourself, but yet I work for a company. And my bosses are phenomenal. I mean, phenomenal. And it's enlightening. I get to meet all walks of life, everything. I can't even explain in words what this job does for me personally. And
So it's funny, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, but well, I'm not, because this is this is how we communicate with each other. But no, it's funny that you had mentioned, because I wanted to ask you that the whole, do you feel as a barber, do you work for yourself? And you had just mentioned that because that's kind of what we were talking about earlier, and it kind of caveats on that, because we kind of, as veterans, like, that's kind of like where we are, like, hey, like, if you can't do something right, you just gotta do it yourself.
yeah,
And it's funny that you just mentioned all the different walks of life that you get to see, because that is one of the biggest things in the military, is like, you could see everyone. I
yeah.
mean, everyone. So do you feel that barbering and is like a weird transition, that's like, hey, I'm not in the uniform, but this is giving me some of the things from the uniform that I loved, um, in moving forward, with your daily life and enjoying that transition?
So 100%. I was a barber at the first shop that I was at. That's my boss owns. And when I got out, they were. I mean, I work with fellow veterans also, um, but being a barber, and only a barber, maybe a cosmetologist also. I don't know that side of it well. Will understand this. When you work in a shop, it's a brotherhood or a sisterhood, whatever you want to call it. I'm just so used to calling it a brotherhood. Um, it's insane. You look out for one another. You truly get pissed off and hurt when someone else does that to another barber. Um, it's insane. Like, you feel the emotion for someone else, like you would, like, for another fellow military member or a soldier. And that transition, I didn't realize that I would hold on to that so much, and I do. Um, just recently, I'll just say shortly, I had a guy back into my Jeep, and I said, "Hey, man," like, and I was like, "You hit me." And next thing you know, I look behind me, and I have 7 barbers behind me, threatening to throw cake on their windshield, and, like, his butt. I mean, I wasn't even looking to fight. I was just saying, "Hey, man, can you acknowledge that you messed me up a little bit over here? And if I need to get it fixed, like, you'll pay at least to paint it. That's it." Like, I didn't want anything, but they were like, "No, you," and I was like, "Holy crap!" And it just made me see that there is brotherhoods or camaraderie like that outside of the military, and it's helped me a lot.
I was really taking a look at the barbers in the shop that you're currently at, in comparison to the shop that you were at before, and I feel that your personality fits. Oh, that was the most inopportune moment. God, listen. If you were, if you guys are chiming in to see a classy guy, you got him. But I ain't that classy, okay? I got class. It's just low. My mother taught me that. But
Shout out.
shout out, mom. Love you. I've just noticed that you and your personality kind of really fits in a lot better, where you are now, at as opposed to urban over at man cave. Like, you just, like, this is your spot. That's your spot to me. I just see kind of a different you when I walk in there. Not that the you there was bad, but that was kind of like your you know that's that E1 fuzzy time period. It's like, hey, you know,
this was my break into, and
do
then
what you got to do, and then get your skeeter wings. You know.
exactly.
So
It's called. But yeah, no, I was actually very terrified to go to Man Cave, and when I got there, I was like, "Holy crap! It's a very different vibe." Not that I did. I love where I was at. Absolutely, will always be my very first place that I will always talk about. But where I'm at now, I just feel that I've grown just within the first month that I was there by tenfold. I got pushed to different levels, which I liked. I was kind of more where I wanted to be at as a barber, versus where I was at before.
So, do you remember about a year and a half ago, the first time you cut my hair?
Yes.
And you cracked me up because you were so honest about, like, hey, like, I'm not done with school. There's a couple things I haven't learned yet. And then you hit me up like a week later to tell me, like, yo, I just learned this. Like, you know, next time you come, I got you. And you were taking pictures. You're like, hey, I want to show everyone the practice that I got to do on a live head. Like, it.
Yeah.
So, and that kind of brings me into something that I wanted to talk about. Like, that's how much I trusted you. And to find a barber that you trust, which was the premise of the short that we made today, you know, though it was a joke, it's honestly true. I don't just trust you as a barber because you're my friend. I trust you as a barber because you're freaking good at it.
Thank you.
And I don't think you understand. And maybe you get this now, but you might not have got this when you first started. Every guy that sits down at your chair for the first time has had a shitty haircut before, and they are literally trusting you with their time and their money to make sure that they look good between now and their next haircut. And it's terrifying finding some new barbers, and it's like I've had a couple instances where I'm just like, hey, you know, you think maybe we could just touch up this little section right here? And then I go home, I'm like, well, we ain't going to them again, okay? But there's no sense for me to just say, hey, fix this and fix that. And like, well, clearly they didn't do it right the first time. They're not a good barber. Like, what am I going to sit there and argue, you know? And like when I moved to Savannah, I had to trial and error barbers, and that sucks because there's some times where I'm like, okay,
Get jacked up.
yeah, I've shaved my whole head because
Basic training, Brandon.
I've gone straight basic training more time than you can imagine because I got a crap haircut, and it's like, hey, I would rather be bald for tomorrow's event than look like this. Yeah, and I don't mean legitimately this because this haircut looks great. I got it from a good barber, but I mean just in general. But you really like, it's a crazy get to know me. Well, tell Nicole to chime in then. It's a crazy transitional period for a man, like finding a barber. And another thing, like I get some people that I'll sit down at their chair and I'm like, hey, you know, how's life? How's things going? And they're like, good. Okay. And it's like, oh, so I'm just gonna sit here in silence while you freaking, you know, you know, just finger through my head and cut the back of my neck.
I have definitely. So I had the chatty catties who sit down, and I love that. I learn everything about them, and then they're not so chatty. I'm like, oh, something's not right, but I know this much about them that I can ask them about. Yeah. And I don't mean this to be in a bad way. Like this, it's not me being a bad barber, but then I get to use that to, let them know, like, I listened, I understand what's going on. You talk to me, you come here and you entrust me to cut your hair, and you come to me every. peaks, there's a loyalty bonding that goes on, and people don't truly understand that. But for women, all the women out there that are especially listening to this, me also, you have a beautician that you go to. And listen to me when I say this. You go spend $350 on your beautician, your husband or your boyfriend or your best friend or whatever is coming in and spending $75 and getting the same service and enjoy. So it's kind of like, you're best friend with the cosmetologist, you're best friend with the barber. Kind of how it works the same way, Just
So when I was in the military funeral honors program, I was very strict, and I mean very strict about my haircuts. 8 to 10 days, like that's my gap. 8 to 10 days, and I had to always, and I mean always, look super clean. And I ended up finding a veteran, actually, at, oh God, Daniel, are you still in here?
I think so.
I know he just texted me. Daniel, what was that place? Oh, no, you may know the name of it. It's across the street. It's a Modern Jets. That's it. And he's not there anymore. I was very sad when he left. I would, never mind, my guy. You're good, but chime in if you need to. He's not there anymore. But when I like, I love this guy so much that when I flew down here from New England, I'm like, yo, hey, I need a freaking haircut. Like, these guys up in New England suck. Give me a good, fade to go. But I trusted him so much because, I'm doing the military funeral honors program. I'm in my dress blues every single freaking day, every day. And one of my biggest things was, my presentation. And you need a barber who you can trust for something like that, because I'm not going to go to a military service with a jacked up haircut, or I'm going to have to be bald. Like, I will go bald before I show up. And God, I'm all over the place with this night. And another thing that I like that, we chit chat in the same way with you and I love to be the chatty person, because it's crazy, because I'll leave the chair at the end of a conversation, and when I sit back at the chair, we continue that conversation. And of course we'll add, how's everything been, throughout the last, 8 to 10 days. But I love that time. And my friend Jay is amazing bartender. He's probably the best bartender I've ever met in my life. Jay, if for any instance you're watching this, I love you, man. He has a signature drink that he created called a shave and a haircut. I said, why do you call it a shave and haircut? He said, there's no fresher feeling than a fresh shave and a haircut. So I was like, let me try the drink. I tried the drink. I'm like, it's like a shave and a haircut. So it really is an awesome feeling, when you go in, and it's like, it's my me time. I would rather go and get my haircut and BS than go to the bar.
Do you know what I call it? And anyone can judge me for it. I call it man spa day.
Hey, listen, I get pedicures. All right. Any of you men watching this that are like, you get pedicures? Grow up.
Your feet. That's gross.
Grow up. I'm telling you, I enjoy pedicures. And if you are a single man watching this who's saying that, you are doing it wrong. Okay. I'm telling you right now, take a woman to get a pedicure. You gonna have a good night. Okay. Just hands down. Go do pedicures together. I'll get my eyebrows waxed. I don't care. Like, I'm a firm believer on look good, feel good. That's one of my biggest things. And that's why, like, I enjoy this feeling right now. Like today, like, I want to go out tonight to showcase my freaking haircut.
Because you feel good. And that's, so as a barber, well, for me, not all barbers, for me as a barber, I will say, having someone who comes in from a rough day from work, right? they come in or they're on their lunch break or whatever it is, sit down like, oh, I haven't been able to come in like 4 weeks. I need a haircut. And they're smiling when they leave. They're walking out going like this, like whole, like they feel good. That just that sensation, I should say, that you get from making someone feel so happy, so confident, so secure, in just by cutting their hair is a very good feeling to me.
I mess up my rear view mirror every freaking time I get in my car after a haircut because I'm like, let me see this. I'm like, oh, that looks good right there. I'm like, oh shit, she did a good job with this. I'm like, oh, okay, I like that. I was like, I see that part line up there. I start the car and I'm like, uh-oh. So every single freaking time, I promise you, and that's a part of the process. So I want to get ready to wrap up. Because we're approaching our hour and a half here, and I tried to keep it under an hour and a half or close to. I want to hear your craziest barber story. Like, have you had some like sweaty person with like pulsating like fissures, or like someone that you're just like, I'm not doing it, or I don't know. Like, I really, I'm just thinking of the worst, of course, in my head, but I really want to know, like, what's your craziest barber story, and don't say Matt.
So
Oh no, hold on. Matt did fall asleep, and I have it on tape. He legitimately fell asleep. How do you fucking fall asleep while you get your haircut?
That's not the worst though. I will say I've had a man, grown man, sit in my chair and explain to me how he enjoys getting waxed, how he loves pain, how he
Like,
wants.
he's one of those. They have a word for them. Like, when you say wax, or now we talking eyebrows or the Brazil? Oh, the cornhole combo.
So then I'll put the cape on him, and he goes, "Please tighter," and I'm like, "Ooh, okay, no." And then he's like, "So," I said, "Okay, so I see you did the eyebrow wax." I said, I was like, "I'm not here yet, but I do shaved eyebrows. Well, whichever one hurts the most, I would like you to do to me." I was like, "What?" And
I can cut your jugular if you want.
so then I'm shaving his eyebrow, right? And he starts, and I was like, "What's going on?" And it as he did it, my razor went down, and the first time, and it sort of nicked, which I took care of and cleaned, and all I got back in return was, "You can make it bigger. I like that."
You know what you need? You need like a little like a little pocket taser. One of them ones you get at like the Red Barn flea market. Like just a quick little. Like, oh, what was that? Like, don't worry about it.
So the guy next to me, he said, the next time I hear the guy say that, he goes, "I'll hurt him myself." I was like, "Well, that was my weirdest. I have to just share real quick. Craziest, craziest experience I've ever seen. We had a guy who came in to get a haircut from a barber who worked across from me. Got his haircut. Everything was going just fine. All of a sudden, 2 seconds, he started seizing
Oh.
chair. It was insane. Everyone turned to look at me because I was prior military and I worked in the vet tech field. So apparently that makes me a nurse. And I was like, "I don't know, hold his neck." I was like, I don't know what to do. But yeah, it was quite interesting. After he came out, he just looked around and was like, "Did I have a seizure?" And come to find out, he was actually a doctor. So it was quite crazy.
So I wanted to, before we go to Q&A, double check on our short. And just as I thought it was going to spike at an odd hour, it is spiking at an odd hour. We're at, I think, what did I say, 25 views?
Yeah.
We're approaching to 150 right now. So it did just start taking off. Let me see. Hold on. Let me click on it specifically. It really started going 7:23. Yeah, 15 minutes ago. So it's going. How far? I don't know, but it is definitely going. And then you know what I want to see before we chime off? I'm curious to see how many people we've had. I don't know if I can get that during like live data. It might have to be post data. I'll fill you in on it. But I'm curious to see how many people we've had come through this live. I've seen the numbers go. They've been pretty consistent at about 6, but I've seen them go down to 4 and then up to 6 and then 4 and then up to 6. So we've been having a lot of people come in and out. This has been we've had 19 people come through, which is really awesome. This is cool. This is so far been again, this is my second live interview, but this is for sure exceeded the last one that we did. So that's really awesome. Before we go to Q&A, I'm gonna open floor to you. Anything that you want to ask me, anything at all, before we jump to Q&A.
Your true motivation that got you into doing this, and why you chose Off the Clock TV name.
Okay. Funny you asked that, because Steven, my last live, actually asked a very similar question. So I've been doing videography off and on since I was like 13. And I went back and saw some of my old videos, which I have in the vault, and they suck. But my family just loved them. They ate them up. They're like, "Oh my God, you got to make another one." Like, I thought I wanted to do like skitcom, because I was a super fan of the Chappelle Show as I was a kid, which like no kid should be a fan of the Chappelle Show. This is an oxymoron in itself. But I don't know. My mom got me this little like really. Well, she actually just found it the other day. It was a horrible, horrible little like. I'm trying to remember. God, there was this company. Every like Christmas time, they would send you a catalog, and it with the camera was one of the videos, or one of the things in the catalog. Like you could pay it outright, or they offered like payment plans. Oh God, that's the first time I thought about that catalog in a long time. What the hell's the name of it? It was a big thing.
My mom, what is it?
It was a pretty big catalog too. If anyone knows the name of that, oh my God.
My mom, they still do them. And my mom still buys crap from it.
I would look forward to that every Christmas, because I'm like, hey, let me pick my gift out of here. Mom's got a budget. It's got the prices. Let me get a couple things that, you know, that. Oh man, that's gonna irk me now. But she got me this camera, and it sucked, and I started doing it, and you know, I went to an art school, and I hated doing my projects. Daniel, if you're still in here, one of my projects was with Daniel. I was like, hey, I'll give you my English project, but I'm doing it in the form of a video, because this is what I do. This is my art. This is how I do things. Because I didn't learn things the same way as other people. And we ended up rickrolling the whole entire English class, which was Finger Hut. It's Finger Hut. It was Finger Hut. Daniel, my guy. The Finger Hut magazine. Yes, I look forward to that every freaking year. Did you have to legit think about that, or did you ask your mom? I want to know right now. I need an answer before we go. But we end up rickrolling the whole school, and you know, it's again to go back to that one person that's like, "Hey, are you that guy from the video?" You didn't know my name, didn't ask my name. You just said, "Are you that guy from the video?" What? I've never heard of this. Sounds interesting. Yeah, you got to look it up. And so I always remembered that feeling in high school when this random person walked up to me and said, "Are you that guy from the video?" And so I got into the military and just gave it up. And one of my best friend's fathers always would tell me, through trial and erroring new careers and going into the military, him and his wife, my buddy's father and mother, they would always say, stop going to school for this, stop picking new professions, the hell with working professionally, stop chasing money. You need to do videography. And I created a couple channels that are no longer in existence, but they like limited me. Like I picked a name that was like, hey, if I don't stick to this topic, I don't have content. And if the channel doesn't blow up and start providing me with revenue, then I can't afford to keep making this content, because it's like I've maximized what I can do as a broke individual. And now if I don't have money, I'm not going to be able to take these next steps. Like I got to buy something that's $1,000. Like I got rent to do. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just limiting. And in my last marriage, as things were kind of taking a fall, I knew things were taking a fall, and I said, you know, I know I'm going to be single again. I think this is that time to. Yeah, he is. Actually, Casey, you would really like Daniel. He's an awesome guy. You both need to meet Daniel one of these days. But I started doing my Tales of a Not So Wise Man, which you never got to see, which is me sharing. I got him. Hold on. This is the vault, by the way. When I say I've got videos in the vault, this is the vault. So I started sharing some of the craziest stories like of my life, and the reactions from people were so awesome. And when you start getting those like positive reviews, like you were saying, someone walking out, they're like, oh my God, they're smiling. Like you did that.
Yeah.
And I sat on it for a while. I talked with, my support system. And I was like, guys, I want to do this like next year, like 2022. Like we're doing it. I'm doing it. And if you want to come with, you can, but this is what we're doing. And you were there for that.
I was.
And I don't know if you remember, I just spontaneously was just like, yo, I'm going to San Antonio, Texas tomorrow for Thanksgiving.
Yes. I was like, where's Brandon going?
I took that time to myself, and then Matt showed up. But I took that time to myself to like reflect on like, what am I going to do? How can I do this? Is this the decision that I want to make? And it ended up being the decision, clearly. And I was like, all right, I've got a 16-hour drive home. What name am I going to choose? And I thought about a bunch of different things. I was like, I don't want it to be the James Show, because Off the Clock TV is not supposed to be the James Show. I would love for Michael to be doing a live with people, or for Matt, or my brother, or for you. I want the people that I love to be sharing, and that's goals down the road. Currently, it's a James Show because I'm the only one that's got the time to do this. And it's not making money yet, but that's coming soon. So at the moment, it's a James Show, but it's not intended to just be the James Show, or the Brandon Show. You know me as Brandon. And that's confusing, guys. Don't ask. Just really don't. But I'm on this drive back from San Antonio, and I was like, what can I do that doesn't limit me, but encompasses what I do on my days off? Or no, encompasses what I do when I literally said when I'm off the clock. And I'm like, light bulb. I'm like, off the clock. So I Google it. Someone already has that. So whoever you are on YouTube with Off the Clock, I'm going to fight you. But then I was like, okay, let's condense it into one word. So yeah, there were some like Crockers off the clock. So Mr. Crocker, you could catch these hands. So I was like, let's condense it down into one word. And then I'm like, off the clock, one word. I'm like, I don't like it. And then this Crocker guy was really upsetting me. And then just TV. I've done TV. I had Guns and Coffee TV, Brandon James TV, and I was like, let me add the TV. And so I was like, okay, this is in first place right now. And as I continued my drive, my very long, awful, miserable, boring drive on I-10 from Texas all the way to through the Panhandle. 2 lanes the whole way, just for 1,000 miles is awful. But I came up with a couple names, and I'm like, doesn't beat Off the Clock TV, doesn't beat Off the Clock TV. And here comes another name, doesn't beat Off the Clock TV. And then suddenly I'm like, oh, we're still driving. And then here's another name, doesn't beat Off the Clock TV. So I finally I reached out to everyone, and I was like, this is the name. What do you think? And everyone's like, I think it's good. And one of my biggest things with a name was I cannot have a name that makes it about me, and I cannot have a name that limits me. And I want to be able to do anything. I could do the Off the Clock TV podcast, the Off the Clock TV lives, the Off the Clock TV vlogs, the Off the Clock TV shorts. There's no ending to this name. And everyone has given me a lot of compliments on the name. And here we are. I've learned a lot in this first year. I've been kicked in the crotch many a times learning YouTube. But when I say I bust my butt for my first 200 subscribers. And it was like, hey, mom, get your friends to subscribe. Casey, get people to subscribe. Like, I need subscribers. They're flowing in now. Like they're coming in now. And it's a really, really cool feeling. And when you start posting videos that hit, like I just had a video hit 52,000 views, and you just get positive comments. And hey, this was awesome. Like one of the comments, I got 2 comments that I love the most. One of them on this video was me. It was like me. Okay, I'm just going to watch one more short. The short. This one. He's like, what a great way to end my night before I go to sleep. Like that's funny because I do the same thing. I'm like, one more short, and then I'm on here for 4 more hours. And then It's 2 in the morning, and I'm like, damn, I gotta go to bed. And that short was actually with my girlfriend. We were in the desert, and it was a desert dessert mix-up. Have you seen that one?
Yes.
Like I told her to research dessert, but she accidentally took me to a desert. My favorite comment was this guy goes something along the lines like, hey, I respect the effort that you put into for your videos. You had to go out of your way to legitimately find a desert for our entertainment. And I did. I'm in Arizona. Like I live in the Tampa Bay. I did have to find a desert for this video.
Watching you be like astounded by everything that you were seeing, it was just like watching it live. Like you were live while you were there, and you're just like, I can't stop looking. Do you see that? You probably can't, but
you watch a lot of videos and people say video doesn't do justice, but they really don't. Like they really don't do justice. And it's not intended to be a travel vlog, though I do have a lot of travel planned. You know, I could be one of my best videos is a scuba diving video, and I put out another scuba diving video, and it didn't hit. So it's really weird learning YouTube, and it's kind of motivating because it's like, well, damn it, this worked this time. Why isn't it working that time? So learning all this has been a lot of fun, honestly, and it's keeping me motivated. Mental health wise, it's been the best freaking thing I've ever done. Like honestly, hands down, the best thing I've ever done. So I love it. 2023 is going to be a balls to the wall year, like hands down. Like I'm all in. I don't plan to profit a dollar. I'm going to vacation. I'm going to travel. I'm going to see cool stuff. But it's for you guys, you know. It's not just for me. Like I want to put out good content. I want to get new cameras, and it's becoming an addiction. I'm hitting that point where it's becoming successful, that it's becoming a bit of an addiction, and I'm this close to getting paid that I'm like, okay, what do I got to do now? What do I got to buy now? How can I make this better? How can I make that better? What can I add? Like, and then I just study my data, what's working, what's not working. And when you find what clicks and you start sticking with it, it's really good. So that was a long ass answer to your question. I do apologize. But you probably asked like the most passionate question to me right now. So that's where we are. All right, so let's switch to Q&A because you and I can talk for 3 more hours. And what time are we looking at? We are looking at, oh my God, 7:53. We're almost at 2 hours. This is my longest one. So if anyone has any questions, oh my God, if you're still hanging in there, I guess I'll give you guys some time. Casey, Daniel, anyone. I think we had a couple friends. I think we had a Brittany and potentially a Nicole. And anyone else watching, if you have any questions, let me know. I'll give you guys a minute or two to put those out, and I will not be giving 15-minute responses. I promise you that. But I am here for you. She just so happened to ask the best question ever, and
Well,
this
you
is like,
also have to kind of sort of touch on it when I was cutting your hair, so just kind of wanted you to share what I kind of.
what you already know. That's fair. That's fair. So I know that there is a video delay as well as there is a comment delay. So I'll hang out for a minute to see some comments come in before we conclude. But this has been fun. I really enjoyed this. I'm glad you're willing to do this with me. I did not intend for it to be almost 2 hours. I promise you that. But you and I get lost in conversation.
Whole thing, and then we started doing it. And I was like, oh, I'm just talking to my best friend over here.
Yeah, it's just another conversation. So doing lives has been a very fun new ad. Like I want to do podcasts. Like podcasts are going to be completely different from this, but just I think the energy of the like, hey, like we're live. You know, like when we go, like YouTube really wasn't a thing when we were kids. Like, you know, live TV, like that was a big thing. Live, we're live. You know, doing something alive, I think, is a little bit more fun. I think there's a cooler energy, and I think it's kind of really cool to see the people who like, you know, poke in and out and leave their comments, and like you're catching it as it's happening. So it's like you're kind of in this with me. So all right, question 1 is from Casey. Both for you. What is your biggest fear in life? My mother.
Spiders.
Did he say his mom?
Yes. Yeah.
Spiders.
It's my nothing in life scares me more than my mom. But second to my mother's cockroaches, that big palmetto bugs. What? Listen, when that sucker puts the wings up, and he's freaking
Flying.
He's at full afterburner, and he's like, "I'm coming at you." I'm gone.
Baby.
I will be a man until them wings come up, and I am gone. You'd be like, "Oh my God, is that a roach?" And you look back, I'm halfway up the street already.
That's
nope.
me. Spider. You bring a spider next to me. Little girl scream comes out, and I'm gone. My sprinting shoes are on.
So it's funny you say that, and I think you can put 2 and 2 together as to who, but I'm not going to say who. But someone that we both know who has a let me I get you know a higher grade taser. There just so happened to be a very large spider somewhere, and it was his intentions to give him a little dry stun. Well, he accidentally switched it to shoot, not dry. Shoots off his taser, barbs the spider, it blows up. And it was the coolest thing I've ever witnessed in my life.
No, because all I would be thinking about in my head is, was that a mom spider that has a bunch of little babies that are now going to be crawling everywhere? No.
Daniel said he's witnessed my fear of both of them. So Daniel has witnessed my fear of spiders. So I roomed with Daniel for a while, like 5 or 6 years ago. And I just remember him at my doorstep at like midnight. Oh my God, get that out of here. I just remember him laughing because it's like midnight. He's like, what the hell's going on in here? I'm like, bro, there's a roach in here. So
it's fake, everybody.
All right. Do we have any other questions? Like I said, there was a Brittany and there was a Nicole. I don't know if we had any more questions from them. Casey, anything from them before I close? I hate to miss anything.
I see not a fear, but an object of failures in life.
Marriages. No, I'm just kind of my biggest critic, honestly. And if I don't do something to my own standard, I will straight up tell myself, "Well, you failed." And I can be pretty hard on myself, but I don't look at much things as failures. I used to. But as I've gotten older, I look at most of my failures as learning opportunities. Like, for instance, my YouTube videos. Like, I've got plenty of failed videos, but now I know what not to do. And so I don't make those videos anymore. So that's kind of how I've been looking at things lately. So not much failures, but me being my own critic, I'm definitely hard on myself. Cool. All right. Anything? Anything else? Anything from you?
No.
Okay. So before we conclude this video, I have not concluded the video that you and I started today. So I'm going to do that.
Let's do it.
What's up, everyone? All right, so it has been a very captivating day. It's been fun. There's been some crazy things going on throughout the course of the day that I cannot explain to you every random action that has happened today. But to go and hang out with Barbara Brew has been fantastic. Again, if you have not seen the short that we put together, it is up here. Again, not here, but it's up in one of these directions. If you haven't seen the live that Barbara Brew and I did, well, that's because we're currently live right now. I've got two cameras going. We are live. And this has been probably one of the most successful lives that I've done so far. So to trump this on the next one is going to be definitely hard. I think we can do it, but this is going to be the new standard moving forward for lives. Guys, I'm not going to keep you all waiting any longer for this awesome conclusion that you know I always do. I'm not going to be keeping you guys any longer, but I do need to close this out, and I figured what better way to do it than on my live. Go check that out. It's going to be linked in the description below. I love each and every one of you. Thank you so much for watching yet another episode of the Off the Clock TV YouTube channel. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you do, make sure you hit that notification bell so that you never miss any awesome content from your man, Mr. James Frederick. I am officially clocking out. I will see you guys, not you guys, you guys on the next one. Happy holidays, everyone. All right, so I ended that video. And now it's time to do the exact same thing on here. So thank you for watching. No, I'm just kidding. No, you guys got the spiel. Hey, honestly though, thank you everyone who's been on this video and is still on. This has been really fun. Crystal, thank you. Casey, thank you. Daniel, I know we had a few other people in here. There was a Nicole. Something about pulsating being the new moist. Awesome. We need to get to know each other. You sound interesting. But no, I honestly really appreciate you guys. I don't know who's going to be on the next one. It might be you. So if you're here in the Tampa Bay area and you are watching this and you have something interesting to talk about, please let me know. I'd love to share so that we can build our local following. You guys are awesome. Crystal, you got anything?
No, thank you so much for having me. It's a great
Casey,
time.
you got anything?
All she said is she wanted to say the Grinch is out.
Oh, well, word. No, where's she at? Where's she at?
She just wants to show you.
Yeah, come on.
Have you seen this already?
I don't think so.
Oh.
You guys off tomorrow?
Huh?
You guys off tomorrow?
Saturday.
Saturday, okay. Yeah. Where's she at? Let me see.
Oh, she's coming.
Okay.
Slowly. Let's pause for a moment here. I'm just kidding.
Yes, let's talk about the weather, as Matt has been doing for the whole week. I'm surprised Matt. Oh my God. What do we got? Oh, show me that butthole. All right. Well, I'm very glad that I hit the not made for children button.
Yeah.
It never is. I love you always. Yeah, but I love both of you guys. I really do. I'm glad I could have you on. Thank you for being a part of this. 2 for 2 on veterans right now. So you are the man. Well, never mind. But
Hey.
hey, I am going to give you a call as soon as this is done. I love you too. Thank you so much, everyone. Appreciate you all for coming on. Again, if you have something interesting that you want to talk about, and you know Crystal, but you don't know me, or you know Casey and you don't know me, reach out to any of them, and I would love to chit chat, and we'll go from there. We'll put something together. But I appreciate each and every one of you. If you have not hit the like button, the subscribe button, the notification bell, please make sure that you do so. Again, I'm trying to do 1 a week and/or bi-monthly. Would 2 a month be bi-monthly? No, that doesn't make sense. 2 bi-weekly. Bi-weekly, that's the one that we're trying to do. I don't know. Whatever. But I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for watching another Off the Clock TV Live. You guys are the best. Crystal, I love you. Thank you for my haircut. You are the best. I am officially clocking out. I will see you all on the next live, hopefully next week. Catch you on the next one. Love you guys. Bye, Crystal. Bye, Casey. Bye, everyone. You guys are amazing. Daniel, y'all are the best. See you later.